Shalom, shalom, and welcome. This is Man's Final Steps, a continuing series to those who will be among the ranks of the 144,000 and multitude who will come out of the great tribulation. It is a message to you whom I call my brothers, my sisters, my family, those willing and desire to seek to do the will of the Almighty Father Yahuwah and accept Yahushua as our Messiah, our Mashiach. My name is Symmanayah, and again, this is Man's Final Steps. In this segment, it is entitled, Now You Know What Next. My brothers and sisters, the time will come when all will face these words. Words such as these. Now you know what next. I have witnessed the unlearned and those void of listening to the voice of the Spirit of Yahushua duck, dodge, and outright ignore what is unfolding before their eyes. I have witnessed individuals dismiss the obedient and call them proud, arrogant, filled with their opinions. They have called some speculators and much more, much worse. I have witnessed many give false witness to the obedient of the Spirit of Yahushua. I've seen many self-appointed mores, teachers, and outspoken individuals refuse to righteously reason by asking questions and examining answers provided. There will be many who have and will continue to be overtaken with unbelief and rebellion due to their erroneous and wicked behaviors, due to evil and wicked leaders. We will soon see an increase of individuals faced with the following words. Now you know what next. These are indeed man's final steps, and sooner than most of us realize, things will become very intense. Allow me to present some scriptures. Isaiah 11:12 reads, And he shall raise a banner for the nations and gather the outcasts of Yasharal, and assemble the dispersed of Yehudah from the four corners of the earth. That was Isaiah 11:12. Revelation 7:4, And I heard the number of those who were sealed, 144,000, sealed out of all the tribes of the children of Yasharal. Revelation 7:9, After this I looked and saw a great crowd, which no one was able to count, out of all nations and tribes, peoples and tongues, standing before the throne and before the Lamb, dressed in white robes and palm branches in their hands. Revelation 17:13 and 14, And one of the elders responded, saying to me, Who are these dressed in white robes, and where did they come from? And I said to him, Master, you know. And he said to me, These are those coming out of the great tribulation, having washed their robes and made them white in the blood of the Lamb. Hebrews 12:7 through 11 reads, If you endure discipline, Elohim is treating you as sons. For what son is there whom a father does not discipline? But if you are without discipline, of which all have become sharers, then you are illegitimate and not sons. Moreover, we indeed had fathers of our flesh disciplining us, and we paid them respects. Shall we not much rather be subject to the Father of spirits and live? For they indeed discipline us for a few days and seem best to them. But he does it for our profit, so that we might share his apartness. And indeed, no discipline seems pleasant at the time, but grievous. But afterwards it yields the peaceable fruit of righteousness to those who have been trained by it. Revelation 3:19 says, As many as I love, I reprove and discipline, so be ardent and repent. I ask you, my brothers and sisters, do any of these verses do anything to stir your spirit, to raise your mind, your consciousness, to stir your attention to the Spirit of Yahushua, to the Almighty Father Yahuwah? Do any of these verses do anything for you? Let me present some more. 2 Timothy 1:6 said, For this reason I remind you to stir up the gift of Elohim which is in you through the laying on of my hands. Matthew 24:4 through 13 reads, And Yahushua answered and said to them, Take heed that no one leads you astray, for many shall come in my name, saying, I am the Messiah, and they shall lead many astray. And you shall begin to hear of fightings and reports of fightings. See that you are not troubled, for these have to take place, but the end is not yet. For nation shall rise against nation, and reign against reign, and there shall be scarcities of food, and deadly diseases, and earthquakes in places. And all these are the beginning of birth pains. Then they shall deliver you up to affliction and kill you, and you shall be hated by all nations for my name's sake. And then many shall stumble, and they shall deliver up one another, and shall hate one another. And many false prophets shall rise up and lead many astray. And because of the increase of lawlessness, the love of many shall become cold. But he who shall have endured to the end shall be saved. That was Matthew 24, 4 through 13. Revelation 6:8 read, And I looked and saw a pale horse, and he who sat on it had the name Death, and the grave followed him. And authority was given to them over a fourth of the earth to kill, yes, kill with the sword, and with hunger, and with death, and by the beasts of the earth. A fourth of the population of the planet. Revelation 9:15. And the four messengers, those having been prepared for the hour and day and month and year, were released to kill a third of mankind. So we had a fourth killed, now we have a third killed. That's Revelation 9:15. Revelation 20:12, and I saw the dead, small, great, standing before the throne, and books were opened, and another book was opened, which is the book of life. And the dead were judged from what was written in the books according to their works. Moving down to 15. And if anyone was not found written in the book of life, he was thrown into the lake of fire. I ask you, my brothers and sisters, do any of these verses stir your spirit? We are in end times. Do they mean anything to you? Do you believe there should be a preparedness, a readiness of mind? Do you believe soon we will witness the return of the Mashiach? My brothers and sisters, can you, by these verses alone and many more, realize that something is getting ready to happen that lines up with these scriptures that I've read? Are you aware we do not hold the key to slowing down nor stopping scriptures from being fulfilled? Are you aware that many scientists and world leaders have come to believe man as we know it have reached tipping points or points of no return regarding possible extinction, yes, total extinction of man, if we do not face a miraculous intervention? Did you know that the world's population is outpacing, in other words, is growing faster than our ability to produce enough food for everyone? Are you aware that fresh water is becoming scarce across the globe? Have you taken time to become informed about what's happening regarding Fukushima nuclear catastrophe, which has begun to creep across the Pacific Ocean, which have begun to destroy the largest body of water on the planet? Are you aware that radioactive waste and contaminants are flowing towards the west coast of North America? Are you aware that California provides a large percent of America's food and as well as export food to other nations? Yes, the state of California. But yet there's radioactive waste material and contaminants heading towards the west coast of North America. We could be at risk of seeing a catastrophic situation where our foods become highly radiated. Are you aware that most of our food, as I stated, originate from California? A lot of it from that one state. Yes, my brothers and sisters, soon and very soon we will see cataclysmic reactions, and these will spark chaos in the foreseeable future. More questions for you. Are you aware that it takes time to gather and assemble massive crowds? Are you aware that for Yasharal to be gathered from the four corners of the earth, it's going to take time, resources. There will be means and methods for travel to be established. Leadership, timing, yes, and much more pose an extreme challenge among those who will be among the ranks of the obedient of Almighty Yahuwah. It will be an extreme challenge. It will be a time when we will be guided to speak and or be silenced. Do any of these things concern you? Are you waiting to hear? Now you know what next, laying right in front of your eyes before yielding to a living and righteous Messiah, his living instructions that are coming directly in spirit or through one of his chosen. These are man's final steps. We will and are beginning to face some phenomenal challenges, even while there are many who are asleep. I strongly suggest that each and every person begin to ask questions, many questions, endless questions, and seek earnestly what the Spirit of Yahushua is saying to you, either directly or through one of his servants. It appears when it comes to knowing, many of us are only familiar with minimal conditions around our own little sphere, our own little circle. In various instances, there are those who read a lot of news and examine enormous amounts of information, only to struggle trying to determine what is right, what is true, what should be done. In time past, major networks and news agencies once commanded our attention and filled our minds with whatever propaganda they chose to deliver. Information has been shaped and edited to meet the needs of the sponsors or those who bought out the individuals who deliver the content. Many are unaware of another type of information. That is the spread of what is called fiction or satire. Yes, there are many websites that are satire. They look like genuine news stations, genuine news agencies, but they are satire. Satire, for those who are unaware, is defined as the use of humor, irony, and exaggeration or ridicule to expose and criticize people's stupidity and vices, particularly in the context of contemporary politics and other topical issues, including latter-day prophecy. People make a mockery of it. Nevertheless, my brothers and sisters, this will not stop the fulfillment of all that is written in scriptures. This will not stop the righteous prophecies, the righteous actions of the Most High Father. End times have brought with it an explosion of information. And in these last days, we see a lot of fiction mingled with a lot of fact. And in the midst of one another, we struggle trying to determine what should we be paying attention to, who should we be listening to. Also, many self-appointed leaders and self-proclaimed mores, teachers, shepherds, and outspoken individuals have injected their spin on the interpretation of information or scriptures. I have witnessed individuals wear down trying to decipher or decode what is really important, what is really true and righteous among all that is out there, among all that we are exposed to. Many of us have also witnessed those who demonstrate various types of mastery using rhetoric or very convincing words to influence people. Reaching that point of now you know what next has become most difficult, to say the least. It would be wise to come to grips that we serve a living Elohim, and our Mashiach, our Messiah Yahushua, is alive. He's well. He provides living instructions and guidance. He makes the scriptures alive. He teaches and brings to remembrance. True discernment is when the Spirit of Yahushua reveals and uncovers. It is when the Mashiach, the Messiah, make known. Anything else is plain erroneous. I strongly urge you not to fall for the dictionary definition of discernment, or you will miss many opportunities and find yourself overtaken by wickedness and unbelief. My brothers and sisters, failure to discover a living relationship with the Almighty Father Yahuwah's set-apart Spirit that is sent in Yahushua's name, again referencing John 14:26, failure to discover that living relationship will result in a big void, dull ears, and clouded vision. End time signs and prophecies are given for a reason and with purpose. These are indeed man's final steps. The 144,000 in multitude are being refined and will come to be visible. Are you waiting for more proof? Have you discovered whether you will be in the ranks of these groups? This group? Are you waiting to serve? Are you waiting to witness intensity in these humbling events that will force you to respond to the orders and command? Keep in mind, the 144,000 multitude, it does not say that he will ask our permission. These are orders and command. These are individuals who have been chosen, ordered, commanded, directed, and are being refined to walk in obedience to bring this passage of scripture in Revelation 7th chapter to pass. Famine, drought, pestilence, disease are on the rise, and in their shadows we will and can witness chaos, turmoil, increased crime, economic stress, battles, wars, and more. Humbling events are enlarging. Don't worry. Soon these conditions will be in the face of every living individual on the planet. Pray and watch, and establish a ready mind, body, and soul to respond wisely and with precision. Orders are at hand and more are coming. Yes, we are now worthy to be presented with these words. Now you know what next. Trying to dodge, trying to kick against the pricks, running and hiding, being overtaken by disbelief or unbelief. There will be no excuses. Those who are designated will go through whatever is necessary for them to fall into obedience. There will be those left behind. There will be those who will die. There will be those who will succumb to unbelief. Responsibilities are before each of us. I ask you, what do you plan to do now? Those who have been designated to be among the ranks of the 144,000 in multitude will learn that a journey will begin. Trips will occur, moving from one point to the next until we've reached that safe and appointed place. Yes, those who are among the ranks of the 144,000 will awaken, and they will continue to go through a refining process. Yes, we will go through this refining process. This journey we're on, I realize, is complex, but nevertheless, scriptures will be fulfilled. The plan and the schedule is created by the Most High Father Yahuwah, and it will be on time. My family, I pray that once we are faced with the words, now you know what next, I pray we have been prepared and equipped with responding righteously and with precision. Otherwise, we will face much reproof, heartache, and pain. Continue to be mindful that we have reached man's final steps. The gathering has begun and will become visible as we are refined and perfected in the near future, according to the will of our Almighty Father Yahuwah. Until next time, my brothers, my sisters, my family, remember, each of us will be faced with the words, now you know what next. Are you prepared to respond in action, in deed, as well as in words? Until next time, my brothers and sisters, prepare to respond wisely with precision and continue to stay tuned as this series continues. Shalom, shalom, shalom.